Greg Abbott now joins me. And Mr. Attorney General, it is always a pleasure to have you and to be with you.
Well, Governor,
let's first of all talk about the legislation that was signed. I know that you were a strong advocate for it. It now has passed. It's been signed, and you're getting sued. It'll be your job as Attorney General to defend it before the Supreme Court, but it's not something new to you.
I've been involved as the Attorney General of Texas in defending life in courts, and that's exactly what I will be doing with regard to this new Texas law. As a reminder, I took the lead among state attorneys general in defending the partial birth abortion ban, and we won at the United States Supreme Court. I took the lead as a state attorney general in defending the parental notification law, and we won both in the United States Supreme Court and in Texas. I've taken the lead in defending a Texas law, the sonogram law, and we defended that and we won. Now we have this new law passed out of the state of Texas that is going to, Governor, both better protect the health care of women who go through an abortion process, but also do a better job of protecting innocent life. I believe that when this case goes to the United States Supreme Court, that we can win in this case also.
One of the cases that you've been involved with is that Texas was one of the first states to sue the federal government over Obamacare, saying that it was an unconstitutional, really encroachment into what the state has a right to determine in terms of insurance. Now the president himself has even backed away from a major component of Obamacare, namely the employer mandate. Does this kind of vindicate the lawsuit that you and other attorneys general filed across the country?
Well, Governor, the very day the president signed Obamacare into law, I joined with 13 other state attorneys general to file a lawsuit against Obamacare because we knew and we believed that Obamacare violates, in fact, even tramples our constitutional rights. But we also knew at that time the train wreck that Obamacare was going to be with regard to our health care system and how completely unworkable it was going to be to try to implement it into law. It looks like President Obama is just now realizing what we have known all along, and that is Obamacare is completely unworkable. They're not going to be able to implement it. It is harmful to employees, to workers in this country. If you look at just what the national labor unions came out and said this last week, they said that this is going to be a disaster, a nightmare was their word, for the average everyday worker, harming both their health care system, but also harming their ability to have a 40-hour work week.
You know, we just have been talking about Detroit earlier. Texas has had the opposite experience of Detroit. You have so many people moving in, businesses booming, the unemployment rate beats that of the national average. You've seen the plight of Detroit, now the largest city in U.S. history to go bankrupt. Maybe you ought to offer them some advice. And what would it be if maybe when the election is over, Governor Greg Abbott says to the people of Detroit, here's how you fix a bad economy?
The Texas model has worked. The Texas model has been based upon several things. One, to keep government small. Don't increase the size of government like they did in Detroit or like they do in California. Two, keep your tax policies low so that it attracts business enterprises and allows the small business owners in particular to keep more of what they make. The third thing is that Texas has been a right-to-work state so that we are free from some of the union abuses that led to the downfall of Detroit in the first place. If you believe in free enterprise, if you believe in seeking economic opportunity, the Texas model is the right model for you.
Well, Mr. Attorney General, it's always a pleasure to visit with you, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Greg Abbott, Attorney General of the state of Texas. Thanks for joining us.